Wow, we made hard work of that against DR Congo, but ultimately England do find the way to get through, and that's what matters in tournament football. You just have to find a way to get through sometimes. So, but that was certainly a very, very nervy game, and that was certainly for a while there. I was very concerned, and at one point in that game, I did think we was going out, and heading for what would have been a disastrous early exit. Losing yesterday would have been unthinkable. It would have been a complete and utter disaster, and it would have there would have been uproar. Imagine the reaction if England didn't go through yesterday with the squad selection, with everything that's surrounding this tournament for us. Just could you imagine if we didn't go through? I can't. It's just unthinkable. But the important thing is this that we found a way. So um, and that is what it's about, getting through, whether it's convincing or not. There's been a lot of big teams this week that have fallen. Germany and Netherlands both out. There's some big teams that have fallen. There's some big teams that haven't won the game. So yeah, okay, we might not have been the best performing team, but we have done a lot better than some of the big teams that have gone home. So that's the important thing, is we get through. But I mean, the game itself, it was hard work. We made hard work of that. We made life very, very difficult for ourselves. Um, and before the game, the first thing we noticed is the team selection. Madueke in ahead of Saka again, and then we have Bellingham does play, and it is the same two in midfield, Rice and Anderson, and of course Rashford does start in this game ahead of Gordon, and then the back three they stick with Konsa and Guehi. So the back four stick with Konsa and Guehi, and O'Reilly starts in this game, but I know Reece James is not 100% fit, but Jed Spence starts, and we'll come to that in a minute, and obviously Pickford in goal. So the start to the game it was the first sort of 5-6 minutes when they got the goal, and that was really sort of a concerning start. I mean, the first real bit of action that the game had to offer was, of course, this DR Congo counter attack where they catch us out really badly, and they're always going to be a dangerous team on the break, but they don't mind. They do keep the ball well at times as well. And I knew there'd be a threat in this game. I knew this wouldn't be an easy game. People saying 3-4 New England. I knew it wouldn't be an easy game because in the group stage, they're really good. They got a draw against Portugal, but was unlucky not to have a 2-1 win there. They very nearly scored right at the end. There's a better side in the second half. Almost held Colombia to 0-0. Colombia scored right at the end, and Colombia have been one of the best teams so far in this tournament. And then they got past Uzbekistan easily as well in the end of the second half. When they got going, they got the 3 goals quite close together. Went through as a third place team with 4 points. So impressive record. They've had impressive qualifying campaigns and for this, and then you think the Africa Cup of Nations as well. They've shown over the last 2 tournaments in that they could do well as well and be a threat. So we knew this would be a problem for us. I feel like I knew it would be a problem for us. I knew this would be hard work. I thought we'd get through, but I thought it was going to be a very, very tricky game. I mean, didn't expect it to be quite how it was, in the sense that it looked for a while like we could be going out, but certainly knew this team are not going to be a pushover. They're a team that have improved so much. They're a team on the rise, and they're certainly a team that's going to be going forward is going to be someone that I think we see more and more of in these tournaments. We've got a very unique sort of team as well. None of their players play in the country. None of the all of them in various different leagues as well. We've seen a few players there we'll be familiar with as well, and this is where they're really strong. They've got a very strong aerial threat. Players like Whistler. Whistler's had a very good tournament for them. Not happened for him at Newcastle this Premier League season has just gone, but very, very good for DR Congo in this tournament. Players like Chinzembe as well, someone who was causing Jed Spence a lot of problems every time he did get forward in that first half. And ultimately, this move really, where they get the first goal, really catches us out. And they end up with a completely free man on the left-hand side. And by the time Spence realises it's too late to do anything about it, I think Spence, ultimately, you have to say, is at fault there. I mean, that's his position, that's his player he should be following, and he gets dragged into the middle of the field. And there's a few moments from yesterday, I'll be honest, I thought Jeff Spence had a very poor half yesterday. I thought he's shown a lot of... He was good in the game when he come on against Croatia, but I honestly think that I have to say he's been pretty poor. Particularly in that game yesterday. I think going forward, I think they need to either get Reece James fit there. Now, when we switched to Rice at half time, I thought he played well in that position at right back. We looked very comfortable with him there. The only thing is that playing him at right back, does that limit our midfield? I mean, I think that ideally he has to start in the midfield. He's a midfielder. He's one of the most important players. He's a key man to the England squad. I think he just has to play in his actual position. But it worked yesterday. That's what you have to do. You have to adapt. You have to do different things tactically to get results in games, and Tuchel's proven he could do that so far in this tournament. In that game yesterday, in the changes he makes, where he substitutes Rice against Croatia, and it changes the game. So we've shown that we can do that, and the subs had an impact against Panama as well. So we've shown that we can do that. I mean, our campaign so far, fantastic against Croatia in that first game in the second half. Really underwhelming in the 0-0 against Ghana, and against Panama took us a while to get going, but we eventually did get there. So far, the questions are being asked because the performances wasn't what people would have hoped for. But the reality is we're winning the games, we're getting through. I know we do have to raise our game when we get to. When we go to Mexico City, which is the next game that we've gotten through to play, Mexico are the real deal. People have underestimated them this tournament as well. They've not conceded a goal so far. They've won every game comfortably and convincingly, and they're lethal in front of goal as well. Quinones, Jimenez. We can't gift away the chances that we gifted away yesterday. We cannot. We have to play better than we have done so far. That's the reality of it. But I would hope that we will. We grow into tournaments. Tournament football, sometimes you have to grow into it, and you do just have to get through sometimes. You just have to find a way, even if you don't deserve it, even if you're not at your best. And that is what I think we did yesterday. So that's what I think the major takeaway from the game should be. But of course, it's a poor goal to concede early on. Chippenden with the finish, which goes past Pickford. Pickford really maybe could be doing a bit better there, but ultimately you can't fault him too much. He's not really put wrong in this tournament other than that. As usual for England, I have to say, always fantastic. But we do try to find a way back into it. We're trying, but it's just not happening for some reason. Whatever reason, the cohesion wasn't really there between the team. There was quite a few misplaced passes again, which was a real worry, but it was just very frustrating. It was more and more it went on, the more and more frustrating it got, and I felt like we really needed one before half time. And when we went into the break 1-0 down, that's when I started to get a bit concerned, because conceding an early goal, it can happen, but you have to respond, you have to come back into it. And I knew it could be a danger, because there was a couple of times in that first half I actually nearly got a second, and Wisson nearly did put them 2-0 up. Should have done really with that chance, and we got away with one a bit there really. And you think about it was getting frustrating, and there always going to be a danger on the counter attack as well. The more longer it goes on, the more and more they keep it at 1-0, and the more and more we start to get frustrated. They're going to become a danger on the counter attack, and that was what I was worried was going to happen. But after the first drinks break in the second half, we really start to force our way back into it. We really start to step up a bit there, and we're having chances. But again, the ball's just not going in for us. And this keeper, what a game he had! He made some of the best saves we've seen in the tournament. He probably made about 7 outstanding saves yesterday. He had an excellent game. Eventually we got the ball past him, but he had a fantastic game. And I was just thinking, going in at half time, how are we going to get the ball past this guy? And second half we start, with the same sort of theme. The subs are eventually made, and we're very much trying to make it happen. Bellingham's getting in a lot of good positions, but still just not happening for us. And it was the more and more it went on, the more and more worrying it got. Of course, we see Gordon come on, and I have to say Gordon been very ineffective so far in this tournament up till yesterday, but that was definitely the best game he's had so far. Did well off the bench, and going into, we had the second drinks break, and it was going into that sort of 70 odd minutes, 73 minutes, and it's still 1-0 to DR Congo. And at that point, I'm getting really concerned. We're really, at this point, facing an early exit and what would have been a disaster. There was a point yesterday. At that point yesterday, I was thinking, okay, the goal kind of feels like it's coming in some ways, but in other ways, it almost felt like it wasn't. It just felt like one of those days it wasn't going in for us. And this game reminds me a lot of that game we had at Euro 2024 in the first knockout game 2 years ago, where we went 1-0 down early against Slovakia, and we left it really late in that, and we scored in the last kick of the game with the Bellingham's overhead kick, and then we were in extra time. But this felt like somewhat similar, somewhat mirrored that. And by this point, this is where it's a real worry. But eventually, we do find our goal, and you always felt like if we get one, we could take that momentum, and there'll be the feeling would maybe be a bit flat, seeing as they had to leave for so long. It felt like at that point, if we can get the equaliser, we could go on and get another one and really sort of get at them while they're down. But and that's what we do. Gordon does put the ball in, and Kane does get his head on it, and we get ourselves back in the game. It was such a relief, because it honestly felt like, the tournament was, we was going out, and from there we do find the next goal. DR Congo, though, they certainly don't give up. They certainly had great chance of their own still, and that's what they're like. They're not just a team that's sucked deep. They they tried to sort of take the game to us as well, and that's exactly what they did against Portugal as well. So it's a very, very impressive team, and whatever happens in this game, the tournament was a success for them anyway. But fair play to them, because they really did put in a real fight yesterday, and they've been a fantastic team in this tournament. And I wish them all the best, and I think going forward, I think that we're going to see a lot more. We're going to see more and more of them at this level. But wow, what a second goal it was from Kane, 85 minutes in to win us the game. I don't even know how he does this. It's an incredible finish. One of the best goals I've seen this tournament. He takes that goal so well. I don't know how he's able to get the angle on that, to go around those 4 defenders and just slot it in a beautiful strike of the ball straight into that top of the goal, and I just think. Back in that, I think how did he do it? But fantastic goal, because he's not just a striker that scores tap-ins. He's got, he's got that type of goal in as well. And if he's there in front of goal, he'll always score. And he's like right up in that golden boot race as well now. And from there, we're able to see the game out, and they have that final chance, and from there we know we've won and we get through. And well, made our work of it. It was getting very concerning, but we eventually, when we do find our goal, we get going, and that's been the theme this tournament. When we have actually eventually scored, we seem to follow. Okay, performance was not convincing, but the important thing is you get through. That's what you have to do. You have to stay in the tournament. You have to keep going. You have to get through every game, and that's what we did yesterday. So I think that should be the major takeaway from the game is we're still here. We push on now. Mexico City that's going to be one massive game. That's going to be a very, very tough game in Mexico City against Mexico. That's going to be the toughest of games. But I'm ready for it. Looking forward to it. Let's bring on the rest of the tournament. We really proving yesterday we can we can keep at it when the game's not going our way. So final score in the end: England 2, DR Congo 1. We are through, and that's ultimately the most important thing in tournament football. You just stay in the tournament, you keep getting through. So that's about all I can really say, and I'll see you again in the next one.